Not quite awake. One quick announcement. There is no meeting next week here. There is no gathering. The venue was not available, and it's a.
And right now I'm a member of Chicago DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, and they've developed a training that is, how to talk to non-socialists, people who are skeptical of progressives, and I think it's a really good training, used for canvassing, used for dealing with family, friends who, think socialism is dictatorship and the country's going to go to hell and so on. And so I thought it would be really helpful maybe to Michigan, because I'm a fan of Abdul's, Jenna's, and more progressive people. And so I wanted to bring it here. It's going to be a Zoom training next Wednesday night, August 5th, from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so if you're interested, and I hope some of you will be fun to have Michiganders in the group. I'm going to have a sign-up sheet so I can get your email and phone number, and I can then provide you with the Zoom link. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? Yes, sure. All righty. And also I have I have my name and phone number here if you have any questions about the training. Okay, thank you.
All right, so the sign-up will be at this front table, because you know me, I'm never usually in one spot, so we'll make sure it's right there. I don't see Carl. Okay. Are there any, so then I'm going to wait, Ruby, for a little bit for you to, because then we'll go directly to breakouts. Is that okay? All right, but do you want to talk about the training that happened last week? The election defense training happened last week? Okay. Oh, and Tina's coming too.
Paula might have said all this already, but I didn't hear it. Hi, I'm Tina Taylor. I'm a snack lady. I want to just mention that there's a Yoda collection for donations. If you have a few dollars, please contribute so we can continue to use the space and keep the movement going. Did you talk about that we're not going to meet next week?
I did say that.
Okay, so we're not meeting next week, but the week after I'm looking for somebody to help me bring snacks that week. So
We decided you're not allowed to talk tonight, actually. Sit back down.
But I get to tell you about the guy from Wisconsin. If you haven't heard. We went live yesterday. So we're having our second meeting about data centers. I mentioned that, I think, last time. So there's a QR code that we will put up. We're also going to have a city commissioner from Houghton speaking, because they've passed an ordinance or moratorium. And we're going to have the the leader of the school that has the crypto mine in front of it. That's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow they have a hearing with Bitcoin in the Sioux, if it actually happens. This hearing keeps getting moved, but they're trying to pack the courthouse at the Sioux because the school is being sued by the Bitcoin company, which is crazy, for having the gall to complain about their activities, which are so loud that the children can't go out and have recess. And this is a school that's been certified as an environmental school, and the kids spend an hour outside every day. So that, we are also going to hear from a county commissioner where they've passed a moratorium, and Sands Township's zoning administrator is also going to be part of the panel. So it's going to be local government leaders who have passed moratoriums explaining why and how they did it. And Charlie's going to talk about what's going on in Wisconsin and how we can all work together. And there will be a... Well, here it's in, we're going to be at the Ordock. It's also in Hancock, in the Sioux, and there's going to be a viewing party in Traverse City as well. 6 o'clock. Oh. I'm going to tell, well, and we all know that this is Paula's fault. I just want to be, this is entirely Paula's fault. Yes. So, sometimes go to those retired teachers meetings. I've been working on this quite a bit. There's a lot of partners. It's going to be, I'm very excited about it's like lots of different people coming together. We're loosely using the term the Northern Michigan Alliance for Responsible Development. Oh, yes, sir.
Will people need to sign up for the virtual thing?
Yes, we have a link. It's all free, but to get the link, you have to. We'll send it to you. We also have concerns that once we also need to know the numbers because we could break it, and then we need to know if we need to get a bigger Zoom room than the one we currently have. So that's the most important reason, because otherwise if we don't know the numbers and people try to log in, we might not be able to accommodate you, so we do need to know in advance. Please. And let's see. Then the other thing I've been working on are the poll challengers. We have poll challengers covered for the Y on Election Day. I'm still looking for poll challengers for the Baraga Gym at City Hall. If anyone, that's my number one concern. Yeah.
I signed up for it, but I haven't heard anything.
Okay, let's talk afterwards. We've been having a lot of email problems. It turns out I couldn't send email for 2 days, right, during all this. So thank you, and let's talk. Thank you very much. And then if you, how many folks have voted already? Woo! And, right, early voting goes through August 2nd, so get on down to the public library or your township location. And, what am I forgetting? Oh, the Michigan Money Out of Politics, as you might have heard, had made the next step by 9 signatures. Yes, 9. They randomly pulled, there were over 500,000 signatures submitted. They pulled 1,000 of them, and the valid rate was such that we had 9 more than the legally required number. But, and so, thank you. Literally everyone who did anything to collect signatures, you made that happen. Each one of us who did anything with the signatures made that happen. I personally stood in front of Tasty Freeze, great place to get signatures while people are waiting in line for ice cream. They're in a good mood, they're willing to listen to you, they're willing to make that commitment to stand there. Highly recommend standing in front of the ice cream store. And
All I did was go and pet my dog.
yes, and yeah, and Zeke had, that was a good one too. And we had good folks come and volunteer through that who are now getting involved in other things too. So it's really great to see that folks get more involved. And then tomorrow, well, we'll talk about LSRI. Oh, okay. Tomorrow, LSRI is having an all-member meeting at 6 at Peter White Public Library, and we're going to do election support teams, and we're going to have a special guest. The state indivisible leader, Ashley, is going to talk to us about a special program called Neighbor to Neighbor, where you are given, you give your address, and you are given the names of 10 voters who are also share our values, have connected to Indivisible in some way, and you go and say, hey, so have you voted yet? Are you voting? And you just talk about, so just a friendly conversation about voting, not trying to convince anyone. And these are people who've already connected to Indivisible, so they are good folks. You don't have, and so that's a great way. And we're going to talk about how that neighbor-to-neighbor program works and how we could maybe do that up here, because it really, really matters to. In fact, at the coffee shop this morning, someone I've known for 10 years. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to vote. I was very nice, and well, let's talk about the county commission. You care about county stuff. Let's talk about that judge race. Let's not talk about the Senate race.
Let's talk about the bus.
Let's talk about the bus. Yes. So I'm pretty sure I've gotten her to vote. She wasn't going to vote. Primary. I don't know. Here, LSRI made a site here. So just happened to run into her at the coffee shop. So, all right. Thank you.
On that, if you go to the LSRI website under Armchair Actions, there was an action a month or so ago about voting in the primary and the importance of voting in the primary. And in general, what it is so many decisions are made with the primary. I described it as if you're a basketball fan, college basketball fan, and you watch March Madness, and you have all of those teams, and there's always that Cinderella team that you're kind of hoping for, that affect, because if they win, the teams that they beat, they've done something different most likely, right? And so they make those teams have to adjust and learn on the fly. And so if you have these candidates that are not those front runners, but are out there with a message, and that message is being heard, and voters are going, hey, I like this message, it does affect the other candidates that are running. And that can continue even if that Cinderella team or that candidate doesn't move forward. The other thing is, if you fill out a bracket for March Madness and your teams don't go forward, you don't really care about the end game, like the final game. You're like, yeah, I'll watch it. Or the Super Bowl, right? Like the playoffs for the Super Bowl. If my team isn't playing, then I'm like, okay, I'll watch the game, but maybe. Like, I don't wholeheartedly go behind that. And so the primary is where we can get more influence sometimes on those other candidates. And those other candidates have to become more inclusive because they have to get those voters. Chris? And then whoever else wants to speak.
Another reason for voting in the primaries is even if the candidate that you vote for doesn't win the primary, by supporting the person that you believe is really a good candidate, that's very encouraging for that candidate. So it might not be this election where they can make a difference, but maybe another. So it's kind of like looking forward to the next 7 elections. Anyway, go for it.
And then give a little time for maybe. Or if there's anyone else and I want to do a couple of other things and then you can. Okay, cool. All right.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Ruby Miller. I use she, her pronouns, and I am an organizer for We the People Action Fund. And as you'll see on our lovely agenda, we had our election defense meeting last week. I think I spoke about it at last week's meeting to alert people to it. So this is my third round in election defense, which was first in 2020 when when we watched challenges to our democratic process with lawsuits and recounts and threats coming out of little unexpected corners of Michigan like Antrim County. And it all kind of culminated in attempting to throw out the votes from Detroit. And fast forward to January 6th. But protecting that voting process and the certification process that happens after the election has kind of become the norm. Like, we understand now that the election isn't over on election night. There is still, the certification processes need to be watched. There are threats. It is our right to vote. It is our right to go out and talk about who we want to vote for, and we should have access to information on those candidates and access to the polls. And when that's threatened, we need to show up and protect it. And when we cast our vote, now we have to protect it through the certification process. So, my organization, we're part of We Make Michigan, which is a network of organizations across the state. And on Tuesday, we did our soft launch of our Protect and Defend teams, which are small teams of 3 to 5 people with assignments that include researching the canvassers in our county and also planning for a narrative action to start early with our message of hands off our vote, so that we're signaling early and often that we're going to defend this. There are already threats to, or at least potentially, the DOJ is sending, I think they're calling them poll watchers, to Ingham County and Wayne County, I believe. So they're already testing stuff in the primaries. So we need to be ready for the general, and then we need to be ready after that. So a number of people in this room were actually in that Zoom too. So that's nice. So we're getting started on that, and it's going to be a project that kind of like goes slow and then ramps up when we actually hit the election and then have to see it over the line. Whereas the election, getting out the vote and doing the poll watching and protecting and stuff like that sort of is like a lot of energy, and then election day is sort of when we can kind of put a pin in that. And then we all need to be jumping on election defense. So there's folks that are already starting those small teams now, and I would like all y'all to be paying attention because the election's not going to be over until probably Thanksgiving. That's when the state certification is currently scheduled. They'll probably change it since it is Thanksgiving Day, but that's the plan. So hit me up if you want more information.
Just a couple, these are on the back, so I just want to bring your attention to that. The Michigan Statewide Housing Survey is through the summer. It's about, I took it, it was, I think, 43 questions, which sounds long, but it really isn't. There's some multiple choice, there's some opportunity for you to give open feedback or explain, like others. They will use this to do the statewide housing plan 2.0. Senator Slotkin has also emphasized the importance of getting this survey completed by as many voices as possible. So because the federal housing bill has passed. So again, find some time please to complete that housing survey and share it widely. The other thing I circled here is I did reach out to the Rural Health Resources Group and Hannah, who has come here before. Hannah Holman is coming. We have tentatively scheduled that for 2 weeks because we're not here next week. So on August 11th, she will be coming. We are going to wait. They are waiting on the formal handover. I can't think of the word. Formal handover of some grant money that will actually really up their services. So she will be coming again. Hopefully they get that information already formally by August 11th. If not, we may postpone it a little bit. That's the only two things that I wanted to point out that I wrote on here for a reason. Is there any other announcements?
I want to ask you one question before I say
Sure.
something.
You're welcome to share whatever you want. I do not censor. We have first amendment rights.
All right. So I did want to bring attention to something that's coming up with the local commissioner races and stuff going on. As a reminder, Fred Benzie is running on a Democrat ticket. His last name is Benzie, which means he'll probably be at the top of that ticket if I remember correctly. And he's very much a MAGA Republican in his viewpoints, in his opinions on transgender and LGBTQ plus people, as well as many other things that he's posted online and since deleted. If you have a chance to talk to someone and they're thinking they're going to go down the ballot, hit the first Democratic leaning person, remind them, hey, that guy at the top, he's not one of them. He only on paper. I just feel like this is a really important thing to remind people of because we talked about it a lot and then it's dropped off in the last couple months. Thank you.
If you are interested, there are signs for Kyle Bloomquist, buttons. Oh, there's some signs. There are some other things, buttons. There's other stuff on the back table. So if you're interested, those were brought in. If nothing else, do you want to talk about your little work session coming up?
It's me again. In addition, we have a couple of plot lines running right now, including election defense, and also we have been working on getting some fundage for public transit improvements, particular improvements to the website so people can access the services that Mark Train already offers in our county. And on Monday, August 3rd, we're going to have a big event. We're going to have a parade, and we're going to chalk the route ahead of time, so that'll be fun. And it's the Make the Bus Work for Us event. And tonight, you'll see the big gay bus back there. That's the bus we had at our Pride table. If you want to sign it, you can. I like the idea of continuing to collect signatures on it. I think that's good. It's made so that you can be in the windows and take a picture in it, like your passengers on it. So if anybody wants to, you can go ahead and do it, have fun with it. And so I've invited a number of people here tonight. We're going to be making some signs, making some stencils for chalking, assigning some roles, and making some invites. And I also brought the flyer for the event with the QR code so folks can sign up and get the information, and so I know you're coming to the event.
What's happening at the August 3rd meeting that we're prepping for?
The question is, what's happening at the August 3rd meeting that we're prepping for? Unfortunately, not what we were hoping to have happen. We were hoping to have it on their agenda that they would be voting on funds, and it's not likely at this point. I'll be extremely surprised if leadership gets that together in time. However, if we waited on these governing bodies and the county commission board to do things in a timely fashion before we acted and made our presence known and made our opinions heard, we'd be waiting a while. It's kind of feeling like we've been at this since April. So, on the agenda or not, we're going to show up and we're going to tell them what we think. This is a topic that we picked because it is connected to affordable housing, food security, access to health care, just access to like the cultural life and community of our county. It's supposed to serve the entire county. There is more demand for it than they can currently meet. And there are barriers to access that include digital barriers to access. I think they're doing a good job with what they have, but they've been operating on a shoestring. The county currently has the funds to fund it. So we're in a situation where like we could have better. Why don't we have better yet is the question. So we're not waiting on them to put the agenda item on. We're just going to go and have the conversation. And we're moving into election season anyways. So expanding this out, the ways in which our leaders, especially as you get higher and higher up the chain, prioritize the needs of corporations, and prioritize the needs of businesses and profits over people on the ground, and why we're paying money to like bomb the Gaza Strip, and like it's making me insane. So we need to transition hard and put our effort towards that. So we're gonna go Monday and tell them what we think. Oh, PSA about the county commission meeting. The question was, isn't the meeting Tuesday? The county commission meeting next week is on Monday, August 3rd, because election day is August 4th on Tuesday. Thank you for that clarifying question. I also brought the little quarter-page flyers to help get out the vote for the millage. This isn't an increase in funds. It's just fundage to maintain the service they already have, which we would like to maintain. We would like better, but we would also like to maintain what they've got. People rely on it. So, thank you for those good questions about the date. So breakout session-wise, me and my folks were over near the bus. I'm not exactly sure how setup's going to work. Come say hi, we've got t-shirts. We're going to make some stuff. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to... I'm not sure of the mechanics of what we're going to do tonight, but we're going to make some things. Huh? Compost pile is one of the ethoses. Where you just, we try a thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, so we're going to try some things.
So We the People, all of that is over in that area. I have the sign up if you are interested in the DSA training that Maggie mentioned, so that is up front. Is there any other, Jen? Oh, Poll Challenger, learning more about that.
We also need volunteers to help run the event on August 10th.
Okay, so volunteers for helping with the August 10th event. Also, I'll add that to the, and then one last thing, again, we're not here because we're all going to be busy next Tuesday. So we'll see you on August 11th. I looked straight into that camera, didn't I?
I turned it off before that happened. All right.